Welcome to Radio Boomers Live, the show about all things human from a baby boomer's perspective. All things hot and all things not. News, reviews, interviews, chat, tech, and what's next. And here are your hosts, Reatha Gray from Betty White's Off Their Rockers and Easy's dad, Jim Zuley.
Good morning, everybody out there in Radio Boomers Live Land, the Easy Way family, and everyone listening this morning. Reatha, are you up?
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Barely, but I'm here.
Okay, well, you know, I'll tell you, Reatha, you know, I just can't complain about the weather, but I'm not going to promote it too much because, like you say, we want people to visit, right, and stay where you're at.
We want them to go home. Exactly.
Well, we got some, I know, I hear you, Reatha. Welcome to another episode, guys. And wow, you know, 1,000, Reatha. What do you think about 1,000 episodes now? We got a great lineup today. Carmelita has Freda Payne, and we've got Kendra Muecke on with us. We got some very interesting guests. And make sure, guys, the easywaywall.com. What do you think, Reatha? That wall is going crazy. Building a wall, right? The Easy Way Wall of Fame.
Absolutely.
Well,
and don't we have a promo for the wall this morning?
A promo for the wall. Well, you know, the Easy Wall, it's your best go-to website to connect with influencers that can help scale your business. All right, imagine Netflix, Amazon, Facebook, and Hollywood Walk of Fame and Yelp all rolled into one, okay? So that gives you an idea. So post your business. That's a cool thing, Reed. Post your business on the wall, create an update, your profile on your own, earn Easy Way coins. That's pretty cool, just by following and sharing. So you get to build up a bank account just by following and sharing to be able to purchase our marketing services, all right? And that's big time. And our Wall of Famers services at no cost. So there's a little promo for you. Learn more at easywaywall.com or text.
Are you looking to accelerate your influence? easywaywall.com is a new site that allows you to promote yourself, business, brand, and your products as an influencer. You can share your ideas, receive comments, promote and brand yourself with the power of affiliation. Associate yourself and your brand with the power players of today to become leaders of tomorrow. Come and join the Easyway Wall today. Sign up at wall.easywaybroadcasting.com or text EasyWayWall to 55678.
Yes, indeed. The wall is growing and encouraging.
Right, and if you didn't know what the wall was before, you know what it is now. And the best news is it's free.
There you go. And stay in touch with our virtual stage opportunities, guys, and learn from our Wall of Fame. Speak live, interact. You know, Reed, you got the Walk of Fame, you got the pieces down in the concrete, you know, and you see them once, and you walk. This is amazing because in this new tech age, what Eric's created, you can go to the person, see it, click on it, see everything. So, but with that, I'm trying to get all this in, and we got our hot topics coming up, and we got our interesting
time.
We got our guests.
Ripped from the headlines. Today's hot topic.
Well, the
Yes,
biggest
indeed.
hot topic are all of the protests that are going on nowadays, and it's absolutely amazing. There was like thousands of people on Hollywood Boulevard yesterday here in L.A., and there were, I heard, like 200 people at the end of my block last night in L.A. People are protesting, but they've turned peaceful, and that's the best news. Peaceful protesting works. No one hears you when you're yelling, but they do hear you when you're talking. So they've been talking, they're making deals. I'm not for abolishing the police, but they are talking about revamping how the communities are going to be policed. And that's always a good thing when people are talking. So if you're one of the protesters, I salute you. If you are one of the looters, I hope they catch you and put you in jail. That's my hot topic for this morning, Jim. What's yours?
Well, JCPenney announces the closure of 154 stores this summer. Research closures in your area might get some super sales there. School layoffs, hundreds of thousands setting up lasting harm to kids, in the school system. In April alone, 469,000 public school district personnel nationally lost their jobs. The total loss during 2008 Great Recession was 300,000. So, wow. LeBron James and Kevin Durant had criticized Trump in 2018. Fox News' Laura Ingraham told them to shut up and dribble. So U.S. coronavirus, Orange County reports 119 new cases. The coronavirus death toll passes 108,000. India reports its highest toll. Mexico, for the first time, records more than 19 deaths in a day. Over 1,000 deaths reported in the past 24 hours. Officials fear the protests, and that's the problem. They will spread this because they're all out there, and I know you don't see a lot with masks on. After George Floyd's memorial protest continues as outrage mounts over the police violence and so on, well, I'll tell you what, this is spreading literally globally. Crowds around the world march in solidarity to the Black Lives Matter movement. And what we got here now, so there's Australia. The Prime Minister of Australia warned everyone about the dangers of COVID-19. Well, Australia had huge gatherings. France, Britain, Japan, all the way to Zimbabwe. Countries all over the world turn out in solidarity with the American protesters. So this is definitely a worldwide situation here. But, guys, remember that this virus isn't done yet. So if you're going to go out there, I think it's a good idea to wear those masks. That's the concern with the professionals. The second round of stimulus checks could be coming out, and they're trying to push some big checks. So we'll see what happens. There's different amounts. We got $1,200 and $2,400 for married couples, and now they're trying to have a monthly situation. So, it's all in the works, nothing yet. Slowly but surely, businesses begin to open. Places of worship set to reopen. They have to be spaced with the mask on if they go to their services. They're trying to keep it safe, but the uptick in jobs is building a better market, and that's the interest rates. Now, here's the thing. The jobs are increasing, but that does increase mortgage rates because of the Dow and so on. And our rates were at the 2.75 mark if you had a good enough interest rate, but they've tickered up a little bit to 3.25. That's still good because remember, if you go in there to 3.25 interest rate, you can buy down points. It doesn't cost a whole lot, it's a few thousand, but if you buy down those points, you got a 25, 30-year loan. That's a lot of money you're going to be saving. World Bank sees 5.2% decline in global economy in 2020 coronavirus. So, and we got some severe thunderstorms, Reatha, in Central and Eastern Europe. So if you plan on going over there, we got some big storms. And that'll pretty much wrap up at least what I have time for. And I'm over already again. Sorry about that.
Well, let's move on to a word from our sponsors.
There we go.
Looking to take the next step? Join the EasyWay Network and become part of our EasyWay family. Host your own TV show. Accelerate your viewership as you will be seen on platforms such as Roku, Amazon, Apple. Brand yourself and affiliate yourself with celebrities, artists, influencers, and power players. For more information on how to start your own show, channel, or network, go to easywaypromotions.com. To stay updated on all our upcoming events, text EasyWay to 55678. 3 great influencers have joined forces to create a space for you to be the expert, get credibility, and be a best-selling author. Get acquainted with the EasyWay Wall of Famers and reach a celebrity status with EasyWay Publishing, powered by NLCP. Get seen on the cover with EasyWay Wall of Fame celebrity influencers. Get the credibility you deserve for being a published author. Best-selling status guaranteed. Increase your credibility, maximize your presence affordably and effectively. Enjoy your new life with EasyWay Publishing. Introducing EasyWay Family App, your new virtual vision 2020. Be seen, be available, be everywhere. Available on Apple Store and Google Play. Track our content, stay connected, create your account to gain instant access. Go mobile or go home.
indeed. Go mobile or go home, and it's all going mobile today. And I'll tell you what, it's, you get on the bandwagon or you're going to be falling off. We got all these closures, not just JCPenney's. It's a lot of the big brick and mortar going away, and they should be doing it the easy way. So we have a so cool guest coming up here, and her name is Kendra Muecke, and not only a multi-talented but unique young lady in respect to her music, singer, songwriter, writes, she's an actress and published author, all right? And then this is, like I say, talking about unique, she has performed musically under the name Kendra and the Bunnies, a folk rock Americana artist with a psychedelical edge. See, that's what I'm talking about, unique. Kendra's style heavily utilizes the element of storytelling. See, that's cool. Through song, painting, and a creative experience for her listeners. So she has released 2 albums globally. How about that? 50 on the digital radio charts, published 2 books, writes for several online music magazines, is SAG eligible, and tours nationally. Kendra supports volunteers with Strings for Hope, Artists for Drama, and she gets involved. So founder on Peaceful, she basically founded a peaceful collaborative experience and shared understanding. That's getting involved, and that's somebody who has artist talents and cares. Kendra, you on with us?
Yeah, thanks so much for having me on the show today, James.
Well, Kendra, I'm sorry we don't have any time to interview you because your bio is so impressive and so long, but we have to say goodbye now. So,
okay, thank you
Kendra,
so much.
this is
Yeah.
Reatha Gray. I don't know if you've met Reatha. Reatha, this is Kendra Muecke.
Good morning,
Nice
Kendra.
Good morning.
You sound like you sing the type of music that's right up my alley. I love folk kind of music, and psychedelic is definitely my thing. So.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm very influenced by the 1960s as far as like the movement goes, as well as all the music that came out of the 1960s, 1970s as well.
Oh, I love it.
The mamas and the papas and all that stuff. I love it.
Yeah, it's part of the boomers generation, right?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
So, Kendra, we're going to actually, our engineer is going to show you performing on stage. And then we got a whole bunch of questions for you. But
cool.
You, what is it that got Kendra back in the 60s? Because you're not a 60s person. And
right.
Was it just music?
Well, yeah, I mean, it started with the music and just kind of like the movement of things. You know, I really think that it's great that the 1960s had this mobilization of speaking up for people. We had the civil rights movement, which has been revamped and is starting to come about again, as well as we had, female rights and equality really in the question, as well as people gathering together and speaking out against the mandatory draft and coming together through music and seeing that we can create a peaceful future that is of our own accord, where we make our own choices and are part of that conversation. So that really like drew me to it, the peace and the love, as well as the music, that rock and roll jam music where you go and it's a transcendental moment that is had between the audience members and the band members and everyone there.
I remember the book Transcendental Meditation. That was the 60s book.
Yeah. And it plays into like Eastern philosophy and stuff like that too. You know, we have so much capability in our minds to manifest our future. So what is it that we want to manifest? And we've had all these different events throughout history that continue to show us that we have the future in our own hands. You know, we the people get to make the decisions, and how would we like to utilize that power?
So if Kendra could go back in time, well, before your time, I bet you would go to Woodstock. What do you think?
If I was going to time travel, I would go see the Grateful Dead in Egypt in 1978. And
okay, that's a little fun. Yeah, I'd like that.
They played in Egypt in front of the Giza pyramids, which is like amazing, right? Talk about a location.
Little did the pharaohs know what would be going on.
yeah, and then I'd say the next one would probably be the Summer of Love, 1968, which helped spark the initial hippie movement.
Yeah, you remember that. Okay, well, you don't remember, but do you remember Woodstock?
Yeah, she doesn't remember it, but I remember it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Woodstock was
Kinda
big. A lot of
remember it.
people. Yeah. That, I could see you with flowers. So what gave you, I mean, you not only, you're into music, folk rock, artists, you know, the psychedelic edge and so on. Where did you get all this motivation? Because it's not only music. You're involved in helping groups. You take your time and you work with Artists for Drama, Strings for Hope, and all kinds of stuff. That's what gave you all this motivation?
So I started as an actress in the theater at a very young age. At like 4 or 5 years old, I started doing professional musical theater lessons, which is where I learned to sing and to act and to dance. And there was just something so captivating about being on the stage. I realized it was like a hyper awareness of being alive while also performing. And I since then have sought out the stage. So I started as an actress, and then just some different elements throughout my life. I'm very kind of empathic, and I feel and sense things that are going on. So I just feel very connected to people that are experiencing different events, as well as I've experienced specific events in my life that have led me to really want to give back to the community. You know, like take part in writing history, like I mentioned earlier. And then I started to volunteer because I felt like it was a good way to get me, using my hands and get me out of my own way, get me out of my head. One of the things that happened was I was like, getting upset about a certain cause or something. And I thought, well, what can I do about this? I can write poetry, I can write songs, but what I can do to really feel like I'm making a difference is to get on the ground and go help the people that are being affected by whatever cause it is. And it makes me feel like I'm furthermore serving a purpose and, utilizing my time to such an extent that the good Lord would want me to.
And you definitely have, your performance is playing. I don't know if you can see it on your computer, but that's pretty interesting stuff there. And you graduated from Pepperdine with a BFA in Theater Arts, attended the Musicians Institute, Independent Artist Program. Wow, you got some education there. And
thank you. Pepperdine was an amazing
Where are you
school.
from?
I'm from Houston, Texas.
Houston, going back to Houston.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
a hippie from
Texas.
Houston.
Right?
So,
well, I've got that Texan edge too. I say this about Texans: we have just the right amount of entitlement. To like make me really go, not only are these my dreams and my perspectives and opinions, but they're important, and I'm going to continue to seek to have that success, kind of like in a Texan's way. This is my land. No, it's your land too, but this is my land, and it's your land too.
So has Kendra been to the Alamo?
Yeah, of course I've been to Alamo. Our school took us there in like 6th grade. What's funny is the Alamo is not as big as it looks like. I mean, I think they just have that front little section of the Alamo, and there used to be a big built-out section too. But I remember, we had Texas history, and we're like, whoa, the Alamo, remember the Alamo, remember the Alamo. And then we go see it in person, and all the kids are like, this is it?
Where's the Alamo? Well, it used to be, they used to have the walls and everything, and then now there's a store and a street, and, it's city now. And they just, I guess they just held on to so much land. But I heard the Alamo used to have a potato storage there and everything. They didn't really look at it as a big icon, but I mean, it's still there. You get part of it. Yeah. But so you're also an author and published author. And wow, that's pretty interesting. So you jumped all over songwriting. What do you find? What's your interest? I mean, writing songs and publishing. Are you more of a performer, or do you like a variety of? It's kind of a balance of everything.
Here's the thing, though. I feel like I'm performing in my everyday life. I started in the theater, and that's when I was just like, okay, since I started at such a young age, it feels like, to a certain extent, I'm performing and I'm playing the role of myself to my best capabilities, and there's always new stuff that comes up. I started writing poetry in high school. At age 14, I was just like, whoa, what are all of these philosophical thoughts that are coming to my mind? So I started writing poetry then as just a way to get out my thoughts onto paper, and those are what became my first book. Over 300 pages of poetry. I've got some one-act plays in there, as well as some philosophical essays. Right now, I'm working on a third book too.
Does that come from mom or dad, or did you? Usually it comes from somewhere where you're still involved with it. Do your parents? Is your family musical? And
that's a really interesting question. My family is creative and strong individuals in each of the lanes that they have. My mom is a ballet dancer and now has a fashion blog, and she's very active in the Houston, Texas socialite community, the charity community. She's hosted galas and was the head of DePelchant Children's Society, which helps children who are in foster care. So when I grew up, I always saw her helping other individuals. So it just is a natural part of life. And she hosted a lot of events and, always very active in her community. And my dad is very active in the community as well as in politics and some other stuff in Texas.
Well, we'll have to connect because I'm into the foster care. I was a foster parent, and my Hope Tour that I'm eventually going to get rolling is, dealing with foster kids. I used to take them out, groups of, 4 and 5, and I would take them to batting cages or the golf driving ranges and so on. And, I'm going to have the pros get together with them and teach them, find out what their dreams are, if they want to be an architect or whatever, and introduce them to these people. So anyway, that's part of it. But
that's so great. The younger generation really holds our future to such an extent. I was listening to the show earlier when you were talking about some of the hot topics today, and I've been thinking about during this whole kind of global awakening about the kids, how they're viewing it and how they're watching us adults handle some of these major
events. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And they interview some of the parents, and this is really a historic time for the kids, because someday they'll say, I remember back during the pandemic, and I also remember during the movement, there's a lot of stuff. So it's going digital, Kendra, this is a different life for you over the years. Of course, you more or less grew up with it, not like Reatha and I, but it's a change. You're seeing all this, and you came across Eric, and I suppose that kind of is a life-altering situation for a lot of people. And you experienced the wall. Tell us a little bit about the wall. That's a interesting perspective too.
The Wall of Fame is really great. The Easy Way Wall of Fame is great. I met y'all at the Golden Gala, the previous Golden Gala. I think it was 2019 in September. Yeah, 2019, and in Orange County. And I came to walk the red carpet and go to the event, and got introduced to Easy Way that way at the Golden Gala. And I was just like, whoa, these people really have it going on. They've got so many events. And then I tuned into Easy Way Broadcasting Online, and I was like, whoa, this is an empire. And then I got associated with Matt J. Doyle and was featured on his show, The Artist Process. And that kind of reintroduced me to Easy Way as an entity. And I was like, I need to be a part of this. The Wall of Fame is really great. That's the new social media platform for Easy Way. I've gotten connected with so many great thought leaders and entrepreneurs, as well as people putting on live stream events. It's been really beneficial to be on the Wall of Fame.
Well, Eric does. He's like for real. I've heard people say, in fact, there's a group of important people leaving one event one time, and it was not our event. Eric and I had gone down to it, and they mentioned, about going to their next event, and they were kind of walking out, and somebody mentioned Eric, and the guy stopped. Their group stopped, and he said, Eric who? And he said, Eric Zuley is going to become. And they all turned and went back to the table, and they said, okay, tell us about your event. I mean, because they know he delivers. That's the
Yeah.
bottom line. You know,
Absolutely.
But you know, I'm very impressed with your resume and everything you're doing, and you know, you have so much talent. You're helping. Congratulations on number 50
Thanks.
on the digital radio charts. That's pretty big.
Thanks.
And you have thousands out there, so to make it there, you must be a talented lady. That's for sure. And we're looking forward to.
Can people still get your books and your music?
Of course, yeah. So on Amazon and on BarnesandNoble.com, you can type in my name, Kendra Muecke. Last name is spelled Muecke. It'll bring up both of my books there. You can also find my music on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, all of the big major streaming platforms. If you search Kendra and the Bunnies, that's how I go musically. That's my stage name musically.
Oh, cool.
And, of course, it can be found on the Wall of Fame.
And on the Wall of Fame, yeah, you can contact me and find links to all my stuff there as well. That's
cool. We see your face, click it, and you see all your stuff. I love that. That's kind of cool. But, again, Kendra, thank you for coming on, and this is interesting stuff. Like I say, you know, Reatha and I remember back in those days that you're talking about, and when you go to some of the restaurants, they play that music. There must be a reason. And I asked some of the waitresses, they go, yeah, we just like it. You can hear the lyrics and everything. So it's
good stuff.
Yeah, good stuff. But thank you again for coming on, Kendra. You're so cool and
thanks, y'all.
and unique. You've got such a big heart and so talented. So I'm impressed. So
thank you for having me on the show today.
Oh, sure.
Great meeting you, Kendra.
Nice to meet you too. Y'all have a good day, y'all.
Thank you, Kendra. I told you she's an interesting lady, but with that, Reatha, we're going to stay on track here, and we're going to go into commercial. Yes, indeed, and then Carmelita's Corner.
That's right.
With Freda
Looking
Payne.
to grow and align your brand with celebrities and other established brands? Your brand is all about your entire customer experience. Everything from your logo, your website, your social media experiences, the way you answer the phone, to the way your customers experience your staff. So why not let us help you get your branding right from the start? At Easy Way Promotions, we are a new class of professionals providing first-class online branding, promotion, social media, website development, editing, graphic design, public relations, media, SEO, and online advertising to give your business the competitive edge to stand out. Our highly experienced experts will not only help you increase your online presence, but also provide you with a proven online strategy to help you increase the value of your company and make acquiring new customers easier. So what are you waiting for? Contact us today and let us help you grow your business exponentially.
For more information, contact 424-209-9290 or visit easywaypromotions.com. That's letter E, letter Z. We also encourage you to like our Facebook page at Easy Way Promotions.
You are about to experience Carmelita's Corner. Carmelita's song Rosebud made it to the top 40s with the godfather of soul, James Brown. She's the founder of the Rose Breast Cancer Society. Now here's your host, Carmelita Pittman.
Hello there, everyone, and good day to you wherever you are. Make sure you're safe out there. There's a lot going on out there in those streets. And I just want to welcome you all to another great day and to say that I've got a wonderful guest coming your way. She's the beautiful, multi-talented Freda Payne, and she's best known for her singing career. Yet she's also performed in musicals and acted in movies over the years, and was briefly the host of her own TV show, Talk Show. And she was born in Detroit, Michigan. How about that? She developed an appreciation of music at an early age, and due to such sultry jazz singers as Ella Fitzgerald, Sarah Vaughan, and Billie Holiday, her own musical career blossomed soon after she began singing early in radio commercial jingles, which brought the young vocalist to the attention of several musical biz heavyweights. That's Berry Gordy and Duke Ellington, and I'm going to let her tell you about that. Welcome, Freda.
Thanks, Carmelita. How are you?
I'm doing well, and even better now that you're on the air.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, indeed. Well, if we went on and on about your career, we'd be here all day. So we could only pick a little bit of it, and I'd like for you to start out by sharing with our listening audience how you got started.
Well, of course, you mentioned I was born and reared in the city of Detroit, and I got started at an early age, probably around 13, when I started to enter contests. I entered there was a TV show in Detroit called Ed McKenzie's Dance Hour that was like American Bandstand, Dick Clark at the time. And they featured dancing, teenagers dancing, and they had whoever, let's say the big star headliner in a nightclub or whatever was in the city, they would be a guest. And then they also featured a talent contest as well. So it was like almost like I'd say almost a 2-hour show with all that going on. But anyway, I won the contest, and then they brought me back about 6 months later and to see if I would win again. And I won again, and I won the second time. So that kind of like set it off, and it brought me to the attention of Berry Gordy Jr., who at the time was really struggling and really getting his feet off the ground and being a songwriter. He already had a couple of big hits with Jackie Wilson, Reatha and To Be Loved, and he was starting with to gather his resources and get this was by the way pre-Motown. There was no Motown label at the time. So anyway, Berry became very interested in me because I was a young talent, and he would come to my dance classes because I studied ballet and Afro-Cuban. And he would watch me, and then he decided to write some songs for me, and he did. He wrote about 4 songs, actually. We recorded them at a recording studio that was the popular recording studio for just about everybody. It was called United Sound, located on West Grand Boulevard, not far from where the Hitsville Museum is now, the original Hitsville, where they recorded all the big hits and where Motown was established. Matter of fact, just a few houses down. And so, not to confuse you, I never signed with Berry because my mother, being that I was underage, my mother and he were not in accord with what he was asking for business-wise, and that basically was really the problem there. And then I went on to New York when I was 18 and graduated from high school when I was 16, and I pursued my career there, and I was able to get an agent, and then I got a recording. My first legitimate recording deal was with ABC Paramount Records. And I had a single out called Slightly Out of Tune, which was based on the Stan Getz jazz hit Desafinado. And then then they wanted me to do an album. And so my first album I ever recorded was on a label called Impulse. And that was the label that featured only jazz artists like John Coltrane and people like that. And then after that, gee whiz. I mean, it wasn't until 1969 that I actually signed with a label in Detroit, Invictus. Invictus was the label that was started by Holland, Dozier, and Holland from Motown, who were the golden. They were considered the hit makers at Motown because they're the ones that wrote the original hit of the Supremes, and they wrote all the biggest hits for the Four Tops, as well as Martha Reeves and the Marvelettes, the Vandellas. They were considered the number one hit makers at Motown. they also years later became inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, located in Cleveland. And then I signed with them, and 1970 they brought me my first hit, which was Band of Gold. And that's what changed
we will
everything.
Always remember that. Yes, I love it.
Yeah, Band of Gold. I was like, I was so thrilled because here I was, had been performing and struggling, like for several years, like 6 or 7 years. And actually I formed in nightclubs, supper clubs. I never did the Chitlin circuit, but I performed in some small clubs and some venues. I remember back when I was about 19, when I was living in New York, I performed at a club up in Harlem. It was called the Baby Grand, and that's where Nipsey Russell, the comedian, he was like the
Freda,
house comedian. What?
You know what? I've been talking to, and she's probably listening in now, to Audrey Angel Sherborne, and we've been going over some of her memoirs with Little Richard. She was his girlfriend for 64 years, and she has been talking to me about the Baby Grand, and she just mentioned Nipsey Russell. So if Angel, if you're listening out there, we're on the same note, so to speak. Yeah. So go on. I didn't mean to interrupt.
I'm sorry. Speaking of her, I don't know if she remembers, but I met her back in the 70s, I believe, and I was with a friend, my close, dear friend, Bobby Lucas, and we were at this little supermarket in Hollywood. It was located on, I think, Highland, I believe, and we ran into her, and Bobby introduced me to her and said, "This is Little Richard's girlfriend," and I'm like, she's like very, very, very attractive, very cute, and I said, "Wow," I was impressed.
Yeah. She has a funny story. When he wanted to meet her, he had actually seen her as she was walking down the street, and he was looking out the window, and according to her, the drummer, Charles Connors, was with him at the time, said he almost fell out the window when he saw Angel walking down the street. She was so fine. But when they went up to her later to tell her that Little Richard wanted to meet her, she said, "Does he know that I'm a girl?"
Oh!
Yeah.
Now that line is funny. That line is funny. I know. I can appreciate it.
Yeah.
That's what I was surprised about too when Bobby introduced me to her. I said, "Oh, really? Okay." That's another side of Richard I didn't know about.
Yeah. Well, he used to make the people where he performed safe, feel safe, because he would come out with the makeup and everything, so therefore they were not worried about him hitting on the white girls, so that was his thing.
When you think back on it, that was a blessing, because back then, when Richard came along, if he had been coming out like alpha male, all that, with all that, and talent too, they would have found a way to bring him down or something. You know what I mean? I really believe that, because now that we're confronted with all this, what's happening, the pandemic, the COVID-19 virus, being locked down, people being in quarantine in some cases, and now the protests that have been going on. This is 2 weeks.
Worldwide, all over the world.
This is something I have never seen in my lifetime. It's almost like I'm watching a movie. I'm watching a movie that, they just make up whatever they want to make up. They create a situation. A chord has been struck. A chord has been struck, and it resonates all over the world. And I say it's God too, because it's like comes a time when all this stuff has to come out, and like they say, what's hidden in the dark shall come out in the light, and it's definitely in the light now, and it's got to resonate in the with the politicians. It's got to resonate with them changing some of the laws. And even the police department, there's got to be a reconfiguration of how they go about doing things. We do need they say to protect and serve. We do need them, because if something happens where you're in a dire distress, or somebody's breaking into your house, and you know what I mean, you really need them for something, for protection, to come out and be your guardians. But at the same time, they abuse, some of them, not all of them now, but a certain percentage of them abuse that authority. They feel like, oh, I have a license to be brutal. I have a license to kill. You know what I'm saying? So this is something that has to be regulated, and there are definite rules that have to be followed. And that's all I have to say about that for now.
Right, but and the rhetoric that's coming from place of authority, is not helping any. It's actually dividing people, and we need to come together. We have to understand we are one people. We may look different from one another, but we were all created equal, even though we're not treated equal. We all have the blood. We all bleed the same color blood, and we all come from the same source. So once we realize that, we're really linked, we're not separated, that is not true. And all this craziness, that's been going on for years has to be rectified. I believe this is a higher power most of us call God. Finally, putting the foot down and letting folks know, hey, get your act together. This is not the way to do it. And people say, oh, all lives matter, and they do. But they don't realize that black people have been singled out, and they have suffered, I would say, unequally. And that needs to be rectified. So, anyway.
Just like Reverend Al, it's just like Reverend Al Sharpton said at the memorial service for George Floyd the other day. He said, take your knee off our neck. He said that's been happening for over 400 years now, and it's still happening. But at the same time, I mean, let's be honest. Let's be truthful now. A lot of improvements have happened as far as people of color are concerned. There was a time when you'd never see a person of color having their own talk TV show, such as an Oprah Winfrey. Before Oprah, like if this was 50 years or 40 years ago, it would have been unheard of. But then when Oprah came along in the 80s, she became the toast of the country and of the world. Because she was intelligent, she was insightful, she was bold, and she was fearless.
Yes, a lot of progress definitely has been made, and I know people have said they never thought they would live to see the day when they had a black president. But what's funny is I remember seeing some posts on Facebook, and one of them said, I could never vote for a black president. And because, people forget that he had a white mother and that he was half white. So the person said to that person, well, then vote for the white half of him then. You can't vote for a black man.
Can I tell you something? Now that we have this Ancestry.com and what's that, 23andMe or whatever. Anyway, they got, they can tell you how much African you got and how much European you got or how much Indian you got or Asian. And in my opinion, you just said, vote for the white half. What? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We got a black president, and that I remember that night when it was declared that he was the winner. I'll never forget that night, especially when I saw Reverend Jesse Jackson crying. I knew it was like he knew it brought so much joy in his heart to see that finally they elected a black man as president of these United States.
Yes. Well, it's going to take a while to keep good things going that have been systematically dismantled, unfortunately. But, the change is coming. At least I believe it is. Justice is coming. And, when you see this kind of action all over the world, I mean, Paris, France, Italy, Australia, Germany, Berlin, Germany, I mean, on and on and on, people are really standing up for social justice. And it is time. It really is time. The Chambers Brothers had a record out years ago about time. And, it really is. And before, because the time is going so fast, before we have to leave this interview, I want you to tell them about your recent project with your recordings and your book.
Okay. Well, I have already recorded several songs, and 4 of them are duets. And the duets, I did a duet with Johnny Mathis, Kenny Lattimore, a duet with him, Dee Dee Bridgewater, and Kurt Elling. And then I'm going to be recording some more material, of course, just with me alone. And that's going to, it's not ready to go out yet. It's still in they're still in the can.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to be probably releasing the new album probably by the fall, I believe, maybe the fall or the end of the year.
Mhm. Well, that sounds good. I think that had to keep you out of trouble.
Yeah. Most certainly, yeah.
Okay. Well, are you staying safe and social distancing and sheltering?
Well, I have been. For the most part, I have been. But it gets to the point where when you start watching all these people simulating and marching, and they're like, all up on each other and yelling and shouting, and that's spraying saliva in the air, all the stuff they said that was the worst thing to do. You have to wonder. But I know one thing, we'll find out.
Yes, we certainly shall. That's true. We certainly shall.
Yeah, I've been doing it, but just like maybe, like my sister Sherry, people like that, or my niece. Sometimes they've come over to my place, and we've had it, but we don't hug anymore. But we will be hugging soon.
Yes, God willing. And speaking of Sherry, she's listening in to you. Hi, Sherry. Let's give her a shout out.
Hi, girl. We call each other girl.
Yes. And listen, before we leave, I need to mention, that there's a lot going on with the new feature of Easy Way Broadcasting. The founder, Eric Zuley's got so much stuff going on. It's always, to me, a challenge just to keep up with him. But his media empire is constantly growing, and now he's got this wall of fame, and it's pretty much in a way that it operates. People can go on there and they can communicate with one another, or look up the people they want to meet that are members. And so this is something that people can consider. And all they have to do is visit easywaywall.com. So on that note, I just want to thank you for coming on. And as I always say, it's time for us to get on our horses now and ride off into the sunset.
All right. Well, thank you for having me, and it's a pleasure. It's been a pleasure.
A pleasure having you, Freda. Thank you so much.
Smartphone, cell phone, PC, Mac, tablet, iPad. That's right. It's tech time.
Well, did you know that there is an app that you can get that will not only let you know when you've been around someone who has the COVID-19 virus, but it will also tell people if you have the virus. I don't know. I've got mixed emotions about this app. In one way, it's really good because if you come in contact with someone with the virus, they will know and you will know, and they will be able to contact you, put you in touch with how you can get tested. It also will be able to tell how much you're practicing social distancing if you're really staying 6 feet away from those people who have the virus. Now, the question for me is, how much of this is really Big Brother? The good news is, right now it's voluntary. You can go in the App Store. I believe it's already there because I know thousands of people are using it. And I don't know if it's still in beta testing, but you can go in the App Store and look for it. It's voluntary. You download it to your phone, and your phone knows when you've come in contact. But it's also voluntary for the people who have had the virus or who have the virus to download it onto their phone to tell your phone that they have it. So right now it's voluntary. If you want to download it, and I don't know if you have to be tested first or not before you can actually use it. But if you want to download it, you can. My concern is what happens when they say you must download it to your smartphone, that you have to tell people that you're free from the virus, or they won't let you in the store, or they won't let you go to the DMV or any public place if you have not been tested and have it on your phone. I'm hoping it stays voluntary. To me, it's a little bit of Big Brother, a little bit of too much government interference, but who knows? I certainly don't want the virus, so it may be a way to eliminate the virus. But keep your eyes open on this one. It's technology, but is it good technology? Time will only tell. And that's my tech time. Let's go to Jim for his Jim today.
Okay, baby boomers, it's time for Jim from Jim.
Yes, indeed, it's technology today. And, you know, I wasn't much of a tech person, and I found out that if you don't keep up with this stuff, the guy next door is doing the same thing that's going to skyrocket because he's got his tech working for him. When he goes to bed at night, his technology is selling his product. He wakes up in the morning, guess what? He's got all kinds of sales. And see, that's the problem with the brick and mortar stores. You have to drive over there, and the people are waiting for their customers. And slowly but surely, they're not going over to these stores. They're just staying home, picking up their phone, and the next day or the 2 days, they got what they want at the door. How do you compete with that? And it's all warranted and guaranteed and everything. And down goes the brick and mortar stores. So with that, I'm just going to mention a couple tech issues, 5 of the biggest problems that face technology today. And one of them is called multi-cloud security. So you got to make sure you have your cloud security. Oh, boy, believe me, you got to make sure you're backed up. Without being backed up, you lose all your stuff. Innovation and digital transformation, finding new revenues and streams. All right, research that. You got to find multi-platforms to get out. Lack of agility, outsourcing risks, the risk involved in outsourcing. Do research on that. I'm just giving you the brief, sir. You got your business results, tools for digital native work free. All right, so and rebuilding trust and you know, keep the trust going. These are just basic issues, and you gotta research, you gotta learn. And so potential issues on bringing tech into the classroom. Students are using social media, security breach, cheating, gaming, and damaged devices. You know, so getting it into the classroom, it all sounds good, but there's issues with that. So whatever avenue you go into, it's bottom line is research. I'm just giving you briefs. Here's some top issues that Microsoft had. Privacy protection deepens in Europe and spreads to the United States. Disinformation, the to controversy roils social media, protectionism in the Pacific. Tech comes between the United States and China. Digital diplomacy. Multi-stakeholder efforts start addressing cyber attacks. Ethics challenges for AI. New controversies abound amidst employee activism. And we're going to be doing more reports on that. AI and the economy, concerns spread about AI and jobs. Well, that's crossing the country. It's all over the world. Jobs are going to be disappearing because they could put a little robotic situation in a workshop, and there goes the employee. The people side of technology. Immigration and diversity remain front and center. Rural board brand, some progress amidst problems. Sovereignty, human rights, and the cloud. Protecting people in a data-driven world. And the tech growth in communities, what's good for tech companies can challenge a community. So some of the top technologies, augmented analytics, 5G network, autonomous things, DER ops, DEV ops, cybersecurity, digital twins, edge computing, and quantum computing. Those are some of the top technologies to learn, that they say. And if you keep on top of this, finding a job isn't going to be a problem. And that's basically a touching base, Reatha, on some of the stuff that's going on. And in business, you got to keep up. And if you don't keep up, you know what happens. You got Penny's closing, like I said early in the show, Sears, a lot of the big companies. And like Eric's event that he did, the Easy Way Virtual Summit, and that was hitting the nail right on the head. And some of the top speakers in the world,
I may never go to another real conference again in life because it's so much easier. I could go to a conference and be in a workshop in my pajamas. It was great.
Oh, that was just, and I've stated this before. I thought, oh man, Eric's doing 2 days at the Easy Way Wall of Fame Virtual Summit, brick and mortar to broadcast. I'm very clever. And, I'm thinking, oh boy, this is 8 a.m. till 8 p.m. plus. I'm going to jump in on a couple of them. Well, I settled down at 8 and I started listening to it, and I did not leave. And that's really not me. I mean, I could handle a little bit of this, but every speaker had such an interesting scenario. And you think you know it all, but a wise person realizes the wiser they are, the more they know, the more they realize they don't know. And you can always learn, just like the people that are the CEOs of all these companies. A lot of big people call Eric, hey, what's going on? And they're like, they're in the classroom. He instructs them on how to take what they're doing and keep it going. And I'll bet you if a lot of these big stores would have, the owners of a lot of these big companies would have called them, they would have still been floating now. But, this summit was just amazing, both days. And like you say, that's where it's going. Would you rather stay home and listen to the whole thing? And you could do everything. You have your sponsors, you have your speakers, you have your entertainers, and the whole ball of wax. And you don't have to leave your home. So, Reatha, what do you think? I'll bet you a lot of companies with this virus, they're all locked down, and they're doing business. All their employees are doing a lot of their business from home on their laptop. I wonder if that's going to make them think twice before going back to the office. A lot of the CEOs may think, hey, let's keep this going, right?
There are going to be a lot of empty office space, I think, around the country because they're going to discover they can save that $500 for that office space a month and just have shared space where people come in once or twice a week. The rest of the time, they just work from home.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of them are getting used to it, and they wake up. Of course, then again, at home, an issue you have to deal with, you could say, is it's great being with the kids, the little tots, but if you're there by yourself, it could be a little tricky. You're covering both bases. I've heard that.
And you have to be disciplined also. Everyone's not disciplined enough to work at home.
Yeah, I've been through that. You know, it's easy to putt around, and that putting around you don't realize is costing you a lot of money because you're not out, you know, taking care of business, you know. And you know how fast time goes. You wake up in the morning, all of a sudden it's 12 o'clock, just like that. Just like right now,
well,
it's 11 o'clock.
Well, the key
Yeah.
I hear is you make your schedule even more strict than you do at the office. And, you know, at 7:30 you wake up. At 8 o'clock you're at your desk. You work from 8 till 10. You take your first break for 15 minutes. I'm not disciplined enough to do that. So that's why I'm an artist.
Yeah, exactly.
But at any rate, like you said, it's 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock, and Radio Boomers Live, guys. We're going to be bringing one more guest on. Reatha, you could hang in there with us, but I know sometimes you have your auditions and everything. We'll keep Reatha till 11 unless you can hang around. We're going to bring Eric in because I want him to update us on some of the stuff because I don't keep up to date on everything. I try, but I'm going to see if I can reach out. Our engineer connects him. I push the button. And if we bring him in, we'll see if we hear the music, and he can tell us a little bit about the wall and the future stuff that's going on, because the Easy Way Wall of Fame Summit was so cool, but there's more stuff coming up, and I'm finding this very interesting, and I'm just trying to see how it'll pick up on the back end with what used to be around, you know. Okay, we got the music coming on, so we're going to get Eric. Eric can fill us in on some of the tech stuff, and believe me, guys, it benefits everyone listening. It basically can change your life. So, Eric, you're on with us. We have you.
Yes,
Eric, hello.
Yes, do you hear me?
Okay, there you go. Okay, Eric, we're just, Reatha and I have been talking about tech, and she did a report. I did a little report on tech, where things are going, and we were talking about the Easy Way Wall of Fame Virtual Summit and how everybody was digging on that. And it's kind of like when you go shopping, but you don't want to go shopping, you stay home. Well, Reatha was just saying, hey, I'm going to start doing my summits at home now. So it looks like it might be a thing to stay, even after they open up the doors. Why not do it virtually? You don't have to buy a plane ticket, right?
Yeah, no, what Reatha said is right. You know, I may never go to an event again, and that's what a lot of people are actually starting to say, and that's what we've been focusing on is providing virtual solutions, hence putting all the effort that we've been putting into the Wall of Fame. As far as the Easy Way Wall of Fame virtual summit we did, people can go to easywaywall.com, and that is letter E, letter Z, W-A-Y wall.com, and then under live, you'll see it actually says Easy Way Wall of Fame Virtual Summit Recap. And so what we've done is this is the raw version, and our editing team is working on editing this entire thing to be premium content on our website, as well as Roku and Amazon and Apple and all that stuff. But for now, we've added it for our Wall of Famers to be able to enjoy it. And, I mean, this is honestly invaluable information and invaluable content with invaluable Wall of Famers. And so you'll see the engineer showing it right now. So you can go there. There's 4 different videos. It's probably about 16 hours or so of invaluable golden nuggets and content that focuses on teaching people how to go from brick and mortar to broadcast. And that's really what we specialize in. And then you can actually go to the news, and a lot of our blog updates and stuff are there. A lot of times when people interview me or I'm speaking on stages, or any of our Wall of Famers are doing anything, really. I know right now David Meltzer's doing a big thing with Kevin Harrington from Shark Tank, and there's a big stage he's on, and we'll probably be grabbing that and popping it on the wall, you know, and we're just kind of keeping track and staying on top of, you know, all of the different Wall of Famers and what they have going on. And it's kind of cool that we're at almost 200 members now, and there's so many different you know, movements happening, not just with Easy Way, but with all the Wall of Famers and what they have going on. And so we have a team of probably a good 15 people right now dedicated to going on social media and really finding what these Wall of Famers are doing. We've added a lot of things to the Wall of Fame. Like, for instance, if you go to members, if you hover over members, you'll see that my profile is there now. So it's much easier to find your profile. Member account. So if you want to update anything as far as your member account, upgrade. So if you have a free account and you might want to upgrade because of what you've seen, it's that much easier to just simply, while you're logged in, upgrade, and then you upgrade to a paid account. Wall posts are now under members. Everything's under what the members basically would do, and then the Easyway family group. And then the shop. We literally have a store for all these influencers, and we're always adding new products, new services, mainly services right now, but we'll be adding some products pretty soon. We'll be adding, 5G protection products and nutritional products and more things. But right now we have over 188, amazing members, and a lot of those members have their services on the Wall of Fame. Like, for instance, Billionaires Elite VIP, which is a new client of ours. We're building a television channel for them. We've basically taken over their network for them, and you can actually click on Billionaires Elite under the store and actually submit to be a member of Billionaires Elite and be able to connect to high 8-figure income earners through that organization, and then just click on apply to join, and it's all conducted through the Wall, and because you're a Wall of Famer, if we accept you, then most likely Billionaires Elite is going to put you on the top of their stack. You know what I mean? And so we've just been opening up all these different opportunities and doorways. A lot of people are coming to us and asking to be interviewed. They want to be interviewed on different shows and different things that we're doing and different things that we're planning on doing. Our book situations, and people see like the radio show and our 47 different television shows. So now you can go to apply for an interview, and then you just fill out the form, and then one of our team members will get back to you. The different interviews that we have going on under news. Like, for instance, I'll be interviewing on my show this week, either Wednesday or Thursday, my friend Don Green, who, if there's any fans out there of a little organization you may have heard called the Napoleon Hill Foundation, he happens to be the CEO of that, and I'm anxious to really get the story behind how that got started. And we give a lot of interactive, we call it the digital handshake effect. As a lot of our Easyway family supporters know, we give you the opportunity to interact and connect to these, higher level people. And you'll see all of our members, like Kendra. You just heard Kendra say it's been a blast. It's been awesome being able to connect to all these different people. And it's the new social. And here's the interesting thing. We never built this as a social network per se, but it's interesting to hear the members perceive it as such, and actually be able to use it as a social network. We built social network features, but we never marketed it as a social network. We marketed it more as a social directory, and just a directory for you to go to different members' profiles and see what they're up to, connect with them, and just trying to stay in touch. But we did put the features and functionality in there of giving them the ability to post their stuff, similar to Facebook, similar to Twitter, giving them the ability to tag people, giving similar features in the Wall, and people are now construing it as a social network. And so that's kind of cool watching it happen. And yes, it has social network functionalities. It was more meant to be a membership directory, but yes, it is the new social network, the Wall of Fame. And we recommend anybody that's listening right now, anybody that has this, get on board with it, because I can't tell you how many of you guys, and I love you guys for it, honestly, but we can't get to everybody. So we created an automated way to support everybody that we can through the Wall. And, people contact me for my consulting time, or any of our Wall of Famers, or they want to get an interview, or they want to have help, and they just really demand my time as well as, our experts' time. And so we created an automated way to find a solution for that. And so this is the way. If you're not on the Wall, then you're probably not going to get as much attention and response, because we just don't have the capacity anymore to keep up with the demand. And so you want to register the. Go ahead.
And Eric, the retailers have basically confirmed at least 3,900 stores closing for 2020, and I've seen behind the scenes how you are basically taking people. It's like you're a ship out in the ocean, and a lot of people are holding on to their life preservers, and you're throwing a line out, pulling them up, and you can literally get their business rewired and getting going again. Like that, there's an individual that was going to write off his event, and you said, well, why stop it? And he had a lot invested in it, and you turned it around and made it a virtual event, more successful than if he would have had it, in person, whatever you call that. And I see that's what's happening. That's what you're doing, and that's the positive side. It's not just people are going out of business. You can find ways to keep them in business but through the new age, you know. And,
yeah, I tell people we're like the Titanic that can't sink. You know, we have special technology in our Titanic that you know, can
keeps us floating.
seek out the icebergs and know, you know, and the icebergs are just the haters, and we got stuff ready for them too, you know. And so we're
well,
you know,
the haters
the
just
thing
come
is,
from jealousy.
Reatha, we're having a lot of fun doing what we're doing. And I always tell people, if you're not having fun doing what you're doing, if you don't make it a game, if you don't make it like a challenge, and you're not having fun, and you don't enjoy waking up every day to be able to see what's going to happen next and who you can help and whatever, then you're not going to really enjoy what you're doing. And we're not only having fun doing what we're doing, but we're having fun helping people learn how to do the same thing and keep a domino effect going. And it's kind of interesting seeing these experts and these influencers, these celebrity influencers, these members that are coming to us wanting to do collaborations, wanting to do JVs. Like, for instance, you know, and again, you go to Easyway News, you go to the news section of the Wall of Fame, you will see, you know, that we're going to be doing a big collaboration with the Best You Expo, which is going to have, you know, a lot of people involved with it. You know, you go to most of the members and most of the situations, you're going to see that we have some things going up. We have a lot of live events coming up. If you go to the news right now, you'll see that I'm getting ready to release my book, which is the Influence Effect, with, you know, Sharon Lecter and Frank Shankwitz on there, and James Dentley and Reatha Gray and you, Dad, and Josh Liskey and all these great people, and it's going to be a real fun event, similar to the Easily Wall of Fame Virtual Summit. You know, that's going to be another live stage, and now people can actually go to the wall. And actually, they can go to easywaylive.com. We made it real simple. But if you go to the wall and you click on live, you'll see that we have our own live player, our own actual live network, which also is syndicated to a new website that we're getting ready to release pretty soon. You guys are going to love it. You know, our app, as well as Roku, Apple, and Amazon, and multiple distribution locations and things like that. So we're getting out there more and more. And we really have a legitimate audience that we're hitting. And even though social media will limit your reach, we don't have a limit with our social network, with our network. And we're going to keep building that. And now people are coming to us wanting us to produce and help them with their event, with their live situation. They saw, you know, how we did our last thing. We have a couple members that we're going to be doing some things for, you know, and which is going to get more traffic, more situations. And, you know, we actually, on our event, you know, we captured about 220-something leads from that event, and we're slowly following up with each and every one of them. We're going to be doing a lot of masterminds and webinars and inside things, and I can't begin to tell you the actual response that we got off of these lives and these posts that we're doing. We're getting nonstop messages that's coming into my message, and I wish everything would come into Easily Broadcasting, but it's coming to me. But the fact of the matter is we're getting results. We're getting responses. And we can do the same thing for you, same thing for other clients and stuff. And so now we have an automated way to keep track of that. And it's kind of interesting watching these clients. More and more of them are actually, now that we made it so much simpler. I mean, 2 came in today where people upgraded from a free account to a paid account. You know, it's kind of interesting to wake up and literally see, you know, more and more money coming in to the account, because people believe, you know, and it's going to keep growing. It's going to keep being automated. It's going to keep, you know, more and more benefits going to happen.
The bottom line is results, you know, and that's what I've seen, like I say, behind the scenes, because I get to see that, is they just see so many results, and people have shared that with me. They go, they have dealt with this and that and this party and that company, and hardly anything happens. And within a week, they see so much happening with you, it blows their mind.
I want to give a shout out to a couple of people. Yes, Dad, you're right. I want to give a couple of shout outs.
How you help them is what I mean.
In the Wall of Fame group. So and these are people I don't even know, but I just want to give a couple of shout outs to them. So Creatively Invented. You know, thank you for joining. Denise Mollet Brookhart, obviously I know her. Marlena Martin, shout outs to Marlena. She's, you know, with the Women of Achievement. And then Theodosia McLean. I want to give a big shout out to her. In fact, I'll be talking to her on the phone. And this all came from the Wall of Fame. It all came from the group. It actually came from you, Dad, when you went. We were both positioned and honored as World Peace Ambassadors through the Universal Peace Federation. You know, and so you actually met her there, and she stayed in touch, and she's been following ever since. And, you know, she's actually going to be, I'm going to announce this right now, she's one of our winners of the Golden Promoter. The reason being is she is, we're going to have like a special award for the people that actually, the tuned in award or something like that. Like she stayed tuned in for almost 16 hours straight to our entire conference because she loved every speaker. She loved the content. Definitely a shout out to Jordan Rexler and Steve Brossman and David, our Doug Walls, who, by the way, we've gotten about 7 or 8 deals with Doug, and we do a big text messaging program with him. Adam Bricker is a new one. Shouts to him. Billionaires Elite, Brian Willis. He's one of our celebrity influencers and major platinum clients. We're doing a lot of things with his network, and we're building a TV channel with him. Lila Colgan, shout outs to her. She has a show with us, and our event director Angelique Marie, David Harabedian. I mean, all these people that you guys see, these are things that interact. There's all interaction. There's all engagement between the community. John Michael Ferrari did a great performance on the stage. Lori Sosa with the Southern Barter Club. Shout outs to her. Schroeder Nordholt, who did our composing for the event. And Lisa Reed with Speaking Gigs Now. Patty Sadler, our partner with New Life Clarity Publishing, and Alex Stern. Shout outs to him and Irene Valaroso and all these different people that you guys see. Ian Asasio with Glover's Own Deal Pictures and Samuel Morris and Kendra Muecke and David Andrews and Daniel Faust and Kenneth Bradley, who's one of our investors, one of our new clients, one of our new bigger. I mean, all these things have come in lately, and the Exposure Magazine. Shout outs to Tam, and I just want to give you guys an idea of the community and all those people I mentioned that are in that group. Those are like 30-something business transactions that have actually gone down on the wall. I had nothing to do with it. We had nothing to do with it. These are just people meeting each other, using the wall, using the functionality, loving life, and then talking about it when they get interviewed or whatever it is. So it's really awesome to see a mind of its own being created. This is God's creation. This is God's platform. This is your guys' platform. This is the Easy Way family's platform. We created it for you, and we hope that you use it. We hope you enjoy it. We hope you talk about it. We hope you share it. #EasyWay, #EasyWayFam. So shout outs to all of you guys. I love you guys so much. Thank you for all your support. We got lots more coming up for you. This is, an Easy Way life, right? By the way, speaking of Easy Way life, we have an anime coming out pretty soon. A comic,
an
anime.
Yeah, the anime. That is cool.
Yeah. That's going to be a lot of fun, but I'll talk more about that next time. And if anybody needs me on the stage, I am promoting my book, The Influence Effect, featuring some very, very amazing people. We teach you how to build relationships into relationship equity, building a community, building a list, building a tribe, but very interesting strategies and ways of how we've done it. It's the stories of all the people I've worked with from Easy Way Fam status, influencer status, and celebrity influencer status. It's a very unique book, and the book made over $20,000 before it even got published. So we teach all that type of stuff to you guys with the book, as well as our master classes and all the different things we're doing. So love to hear from you guys. Please support me and get the book. Go to Eric Zuley Book. Just search Eric Zuley Book if you want to be a part of it. We have 1,600 pre-sales already, and we're planning on launching at the end of this month or next month maximum. And love you guys. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Eric. The Influence Effect. I'm totally waiting for that. I got a little article in there, I think, and I have to keep up with this. So, Reatha, are you still on with us?
I don't know. Am I muted or am I on?
Yeah, you're still on. And I'll tell you, I don't know if you've seen the statistics on some of the stuff's closing up, Reatha, this year, but the numbers are staggering. And the number of stores, big retailers, are closing. Where are all these people going to go, and what are they going to do with these buildings, Reatha? What do you think? I mean, we have a big shopping center out here. They closed the whole center, and they actually tore down some of the Sears building is tore down. I mean, what do they rebuild if people don't want to go out and do brick and mortar anymore? What replaces that?
Well, I keep telling people somebody has money because they keep building these very expensive high-rise apartment buildings that are multi-use buildings. They keep building these very expensive communities. So I don't know what they're going to do. I know we still have lots of empty buildings all over Los Angeles as it is. So I don't know. But I know I've certainly joined the team that orders and has delivered and drives by and picks up from the outside. And I've even started cooking again. Jim, I haven't cooked regularly in 30 years, and I'm cooking now because you can't go out to restaurants.
People say they've been gaining weight. A lot of people say they've been gaining weight because they're home, you know.
Well, I'm eating better since I'm home, so I'm not gaining weight for that reason alone. Is I just eat better when I cook.
But they're going to everything's going to be replaced. People will no longer be working with that brick and mortar store. They'll find something else. So there's going to be a new trend in, because you say they're, you know, of course I see it out here too. They're building new apartments, new condos, new homes. Well, the home building industry dropped 35%, but you know, they're still building all these complexes. But who's moving into them and where are they working? But you know what I found out? When you see these high-rise these fancy office buildings, right? Well, we picture all these guys in suits and all that. I've been to some of these buildings. I don't see any more suits. And it's not the same. Like, it's a high-tech elevator. You have to have an ID to go in the elevator. It's facial recognition. It's all kinds of stuff. It's not like the old days you push the button. And I go up there, and it's a wide open space, like a big restaurant or something. And all the people in the offices don't go in their offices. They have them, but they all come out into this huge lounge area, and that's where they meet people if they meet them and do their business. They're sitting at these tables. They got a little restaurant attached to it. It's really interesting. And when you go up there, there's a receptionist, and you look into the computer, and they see you, and you say, hello, I'm here. You know, it's really interesting. So the whole format is changing.
Millennials.
Oh, yeah, and the dress code is definitely changing. I mean, I didn't see any suits through that building. But I don't know. I guess the at-home business is going to be rocking and rolling. Did you hear what a little earlier? 3,900 stores are closing in 2020. And but you know what? New stuff's going to be opening up. People are resilient. But I guess with that, Reatha, it's time to move along. We had our interesting guest on today. We had Eric come on and get us up to date on all the tech. And thank you to Kendra Muecke and Freda Payne, Carmelita's Corner. Interesting stuff, guys. And EasywayWallOfFame.com, EasywayInfo.com. So anyway, guys, the Easyway Broadcasting Network allowed us to keep moving on here, and Reatha and I got to be signing out. Any last words, Reatha?
Just stay safe out there. Stay safe. Yep. Social distancing. I'm like Freda Payne. We'll see what'll happen in a few weeks with all of this gathering around that people have been doing. So stay safe and stay well.
Stay well, keep moving, and keep the faith, guys. So for now, Radio Boomers Live until next Monday morning. Reatha and I will be back. And keep the faith, and we'll be there. Be there, be square next Monday morning. Radio Boomers Live signing out.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Radio Boomers Live with your hosts, Reatha Gray, Star Betty White's Off Their Rockers, and Easy's dad, Jim Zuley. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Radio Boomers Live. Radio Boomers Live is brought to you by the Easyway Broadcasting Network. That's the letter E, the letter Z, Broadcasting Network.